Hello everybody, Reggie Time here with another entry into the Year of the Knit vlog. We're going to be playing 3 tables today. We've got a couple of 10NL tables on the outer wings and a 25NL table in the middle wing, all in sterling. No limit hold'em. It is 10:15 AM on a Monday morning, and I'm looking to get my week off to a good solid start with a grind. We're going to be recording for around 45 minutes, and hopefully we're going to try and talk some sense about poker and hopefully get some action that is interesting for you guys. A little bit of straight flush action there, was there? No, there wasn't. Yes, there was, sorry. Love to see it. Love to see the big hands going in there. Going to be almost zero spam in this video, other than to say we are playing on UPoker, which is essentially a mobile app, but I'm playing it on my desktop for recording purposes, video recording purposes. So if you haven't yet signed up to play on these apps, I can assure you that even if you don't sign up through me, whatever you sign up through, they are quite simply much better than, I mean, the games in any club I've been in so far. Some clubs are better than others, but the games any club I've been in so far are all significantly better than PokerStars, Party Poker, Triple Eight, Run It Once. Basically, they're as good a games as you'll find anywhere. And if you'd like to talk to me, because hopefully I am now a good actor in the online Micro-Stakes poker community, having been around for 6 years now. If you'd like to talk to me about signing up, I'm someone you can trust. My contact details are beneath the video. Email, Skype, preferably Facebook. But if you're thinking about it, but you're not sure, you just want to have a chat, then get in touch and hopefully I can have the answers to any questions you've got. That is the end of the spam. Oh, this room, by the way, we're playing in today, if this room is the room you want to play in, is 30% rake back. So, yep, it's different in different clubs. Well, yeah, that's the end of the spam. I do have a couple of comments to make about rake back in general as we go along, but there's no more spam for this video, so you can rest assured all we're going to be doing from here on in is discussing what we see in front of us on the screen. And what I see in front of me on the left hand side screen is a table that is potentially dying. I'm going to go with the 5x out of the small blind here with the King Queen on the middle table. Not much of a flop for us here on the outside table. We get donked into. I mean, we could choose to raise versus this sometimes if we had some more backdoor equity, but given we only have a backdoor straight draw 2 over cards, I'm willing to let that go. Been squeezed to 10x here from a pretty wild opponent. We're going to let the 9-7 go for now, but we will be looking to get involved with this dude, given that he's pretty wild. We'll put a tag on him just to remind us. I'm going to check back the ace queen here on the outside right table, on table 3. If we still have the best hand, then good. If we don't, then he's not going to fold anything that's better. Just trying to get to showdown. It's not a particularly promising run out for us at the moment, although we do like that river. As a river we can definitely use. What do we want to go here? 220-ish, I think. 230, near enough. Similar story in the middle table to this outer table. We have the ace queen. He's so unlikely to fold anything that's better than ace queen to a c-bet, so we're just not going to bother. And we're multi-way, just noticed, so even less reason to find out a c-bet on this board texture. We're just going to check fold to the large bet. Saggy nuts. I feel your pain, sir. I understand. I hear you, brother. I hear you. Very, very easy c-bet. Very, very easy turn barrel. I reckon about 480, just under half pot's the number here, I reckon. Hoping not to get raised. Ten, not a particularly good river. I mean, kind of want to check 7/8's missed, 8/9's missed, Jack 9, Jack 8. Lots of straight draws have missed. Maybe he bets a weak ace. I think we just check call this river. Doesn't feel like it's a spot where we want to go for another bet. It's going to be kind of pretty hard to get called by West, especially with the 10 pairing, and he can definitely have a decent amount of 10x in his range too. I think if we bet, then he either raises with all his missed draws in a spot where we can't call, or he folds them and then only calls with his like 10x and maybe some ace-x that we beat. Whereas when we check, we still lose to all these 10x that's going to bet, but then we get some action from his weaker stuff too that might decide to bluff. That was my logic there. Could be flawed. It didn't feel like a spot where we wanted to go for a third street of value once the 10 pairs. My game is not as sharp as it once was. I haven't done, in fact I've done almost no study for the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. I've been focusing on playing a lot and building up the affiliate side of what I'm doing, and there just hasn't really been that much time for watching videos and studying, but we'll get back to it at some point and make sure that we try and keep our game in shape. Miroslav's in rough shape here with the ace-king versus the aces. Do we go for the ISO with the... we've got a straddle here over here, so we'll discuss this first. So, do we go for the ISO versus the 77 VPIP? That question very much answers itself very easily. Picked up a cold call here on the button from another fishy player. Which isn't ideal. When you try and ISO with the king jack, you really kind of do want to get that isolation in. We flop a king. I guess we start with the bet. Oh, 480. Seems okay. Get called. Turn is a good news, bad news card. Improves some of his range. But we pick up a flush draw. Seems like a good spot to start checking and thinking about calling. King Queen off here versus a regulars small blind 3-bet. I think we're going to go with the smallish cold 4-bet. Obviously calling over here with the king jack, not in love with it. That's a bad river. We're just going to have to check fold now here, I think, on the left table. He's just not going to have anywhere near enough bluffs to want to hero call down on that 8. Got all kinds of 2 pairs now, flushes, 6x. I actually had the same hand. I'm more than happy to take the chop there, given how that board ran out. Middle table looks like it's breaking. Whether we stay or not will very much depend on Big Lenny. Big Lenny doesn't appear to be a true recreational player, so we'll be leaving after the button. Trying to find another table. Ace King does not improve on table 1. Not going to see me enter 2 loose passive players on this board texture. 2 overs and some backdoors are nice in a heads up pot, but in a multi-way pot, I don't think it's enough to bet with. It's certainly not enough for me to want to bet with. So let's see what we have going on here. This is the Poker Hero Club. Some full ring empty seats, but let's see what we've got going on in this one. Let's play some 60 NL on the Brazilian skin. So this is 60 NL in their chips. It's effectively like 15 NL in US dollars. It's a bit of a strange limit, but volume is the key for me. When I'm playing, I like to try and be running at full capacity. Not too asked to which limit to play at. More about just making sure my session remains interesting and I'm kept busy. I don't really mind what stakes I play from 10 NL through to 25 NL and some 50 NL, some good games at 50 NL. It's more to me about when I'm playing, I'm kept active. I don't get bored. I don't kind of switch off and then think, oh fuck it, in this session I'm not enjoying it. So yeah, for me it's much more about just staying active, and I just love poker. I just love playing, so the limits don't matter that much to me. Very much just about getting myself in good games that I know I'm beating, and then just enjoying the grind basically at whatever limits are throwing up the best games on any given day. Not remotely asked about rakeback personally. I know it's important to you guys. That's what I wanted to talk about, wasn't it? Rakeback. I know that the rakeback that the agent that I work with offers, people sometimes don't get too inspired by it. 30%, 20% in some of the softer clubs, etc. But it's really important to explain why you don't want to be joining any new site or any new club that is offering like big numbers rakeback. You know, you might look at your rakeback, oh, I'm getting to 50% here, 60% here. But those clubs are just ran by. Hang on 1 second. We got like a nitfish racing under the gun. We're just going to call on the button, on the cuff. Yes, you don't want to be joining clubs that are offering like mega rakeback, because how many of those clubs are sustainable? We saw it back in the boom before these clubs were even a thing. Like plenty of sites, plenty of small sites went bust because they were just like there's a massive rake war going on. I mean, how many clubs on the microgaming network? Some iPoker clubs, a couple of other like standalone clubs, poker sites. They just went bust because they were basically running an unsustainable business model, like cutting each other's throats, trying to get the players, and then not having a business model that worked. So if you're the same stands true with these clubs. If you're in a club that's offering you 80%, 70%, 60% rate back, you might be thinking, yeah, this is great. But then when you come to cash out and get paid, you might find that it's all been smoke and mirrors, and the funds just aren't there because they're playing at that much in rate back, and then they've got the business running costs, the software running costs. The business is actually losing money. The club you're in is losing money because it's paying too much rate back to people. And if you're in a club that's losing money, then when it comes to wanting to cash out your funds, then that, you know, you cross your fingers and hope they're there. Whereas the people I deal with, I've been very careful to make sure I'm dealing with good people with good intentions and who want to run sustainable long-term clubs and businesses rather than just being there. Like when some of these apps first started out, and the PPP apps, there was quite a few big scandals in America because they would, like I said, there was just like a big rake war going on, and there was a lot of mistakes made. I think it feels like it's a lot more stable now. More sensible rateback deals are being offered, like ratebacks that genuinely reward the players but don't, but allow the clubs to be run profitably and sustainably. So yeah, don't just like get too like heavily focused on no. All I want is to rate back here, because you know you're not always getting what you're buying. I'd much rather be in softer games with less rate back and the comfort of knowing that I'm in a solid, well-run club than playing soft games with excellent rate back, knowing that deep down, knowing that the club I'm in is probably unsustainable long term, and eventually something will probably go wrong. So, yeah, even though the clubs I'm involved with don't offer the best rate back, in my opinion, they are easily the best overall package, because I'm getting to know the guys quite well now, and they seem to be incredibly good guys, a lot of integrity, and they just want to provide something that's here for the long term, and they're not just here for like a short term cash grab like was definitely happening back in the day when these clubs first started 2 years or so ago. Anyway, end of discussion on Rake 2. Let's find some action. Should we try and create some action? Let's have a loosey-goosey session. Let's be a bit more loosey-goosey than I normally am, and see if we can force some action and make for an interesting, or a more interesting video. Not going to isolate King Jack out of the small blind, just way too likely we get 3 callers, and we'll end up out of position with King Jack offsuit, which isn't an awful lot of fun, to be frank. In fact, it's not any fun whatsoever. I seem to recognise some of the names at this middle table. Perhaps we'll get rid of this in a moment. I know this person's a regular. Really don't like his name. He's a prick. If you ever watch this video, I'm not even going to say your name because you're a bell end, but if you ever watch this video, Reggie Time thinks you're a cunt. Reggie Time thinks you are a real grade A cunt. That's a looser player. Regular and loosish player. Wouldn't hate seeing a donk bet here. Fish do like to bluff on these paired boards. I'm going to go with a small C bet. Try and like just get floated loosely or called by who knows what. Some small pocket pairs, maybe some like 2 Broadway cards combination like King Jack, King Queen, Queen 10, those types of things. Just bet really small and just hope that the really loose 78 VPIP guy decides not to fold. That was a feeling behind that bet. There's any Manchester United fans out there watching this, please do not start increasing the pressure on your board to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I'm very much enjoying the absolute shite that he's producing on a weekly basis for the Old Trafford faithful. Please don't put pressure on whatever you fucking Woodward or whatever he's called, or the Glazers, to fuck off, because the longer Man United are utter shit, the better it is. Anyways, back to the hand. This is a really dynamic board in a multi-way pot, and we're just going to fold second pair to a pot-sized donk bet. We're going to get rid of that like it's last night's fucking cold kebab. A 3-bet the King 9 suited out of the small blind versus a regular. This is completely unnecessary. It's not something I normally do. I was just doing it for the video, basically. Now I'm not doing the coaching anymore. Really doesn't matter if I do some shit spewy things, because, well, it matters to me because I'll lose money maybe, but it doesn't matter in terms of what I'm trying to achieve with the videos anymore. See an interesting flop with the knight. Let's not see the A7 deuce rainbow. Do we bet here with the... No, I think we'd bet with the 7 for sure. But I don't think we need to bet with an 8. Call if he leads, bet if he doesn't. Not going to bet too big though. Not really sure what we can get called by here, but feels like if we do have the best hand, it could use some protection. The deuces did not improve on table 3. We've got 2 free shots that improved. Well, 3 free shots that improved if you count the flop. Just didn't happen for us. Right, we'll lose this table. It's dull, and try and find a better one. That's where we just left. So Brazil isn't looking too traffic intensive at the moment, which you wouldn't expect because it's like 7 in the morning in Brazil, and it's up at 7 in on Monday morning. So how many people are really going to be playing Microstakes poker at 7 o'clock on a Monday morning? Probably not many. So let's see what's going back on over in Malaysia, Thailand, whatever this group serves. 100 table we can try sitting at. 2 green tags. Seems like a winner to me. The 2 non-green tags seem reggish. 30/16 doesn't seem like a good reg. Losing, I don't exactly know how this winner and fishing is calculated, but that ratio suggests that he is a losing player. This player, small sample size, but doesn't look like he's a crusher. So it seems like we've got a good table here. See a lot of this from like regulars that don't do well, and see a lot of like small opens, 3-betting, etc. Then I just think there's a lot of regulars out there now, and I'm one of them, which is why I don't 3-bet as much as many do, who like they do the 3-bet pre-thing because they've got charts that tell them they 3-bet certain ranges, and then they just absolutely fall to pieces post-flop because they're just got lots of hands in their range that they just don't know how to fucking play post-flop when they miss or when they improve but don't improve to a particularly strong hand, etc. I think there's a lot of players, regulars, probably not making money, that are learning from pre-flop hand charts and then not bothering to learn anything else after that, and just hoping that the Bible of the pre-flop hand chart is going to be enough to get them through the streets and get them a winning player at the end of the year, and it just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. I see so many regulars that spew like fuck because their pre-flop game is pretty decent in terms of like the hands that they're choosing to do the things they do with, but the post-flop game is just fucking rubbish. I would say out of all the clubs I'm a member of on these underground networks, this Malaysian club probably is the most aggressive, but there's still tons of soft games to be found. If you like playing against like aggressive bad regulars, which I personally don't that much, I'd rather play against loose passive fish. If you're the sort of player who likes playing against something like loose aggressive bad regulars, then you really will enjoy the games here. Enjoy the guy who's happy to get involved in a lot of pre-flop pissing contests and wars. And I know you guys are out there because there's plenty of us I see plenty of those types of players at the table. If that's your thing, then yeah, you'll have some fun. So far, nothing has happened. We might play a bit longer today in the video. I'm planning on putting a session until around 12 o'clock when my wife's going to get home from work. Then we're going to do some visiting. So I might just let the video run as long as I decide to play for. A 3-bet the Ace King versus the loose passive player who's min-raised under the gun. Don't want to be 3-betting light versus loose passive players, but Ace King's obviously mandatory 3-bet versus just about everybody. Take a stab here with my 4 bottom pair. I can't really check and I hope to get to showdown and win if any bets go in. I'm not sure that's even good logic, but it's the best I can cope with. But obviously I knew trips were coming on the turn, so it's all good. Hopefully this player will keep calling with his pair or his draw. I'm going to bet here, and I don't think I'm going to fold to a raise. I don't feel like I want to fold to a raise, but we weren't even put to the test, so good stuff. Hello ladies on table 2. It's the same 50/10 guys at this table. Both fold. That is disappointing. We'll be investing in the 9-7 suited in some way or other, I would hope, on table 3. How's this table looking now? Weak player. Not super weak, but certainly not a nit, so we'll keep it going. There's no real big whales at this table, but we've certainly got at least 2. And I would expect to be losing players in this river run and I am whatever. Really uninspiring flop for the Ace-10 here, so we're just going to check and fold. want to be squeezed by the 50-10 dude. We don't get squeezed. We don't get a very good flop, but we're going to c-bet our ace queen here. There's just not a very draw heavy board. We need to find some c-bets. And I think ace queen fits nicely enough into that. You get the snap call, the ace on the turn, which we like to see. 8 seems like the number here. And we get the snap fold on the turn, which we didn't want to see. We didn't want to see the snap call on the flop. We didn't want to see the snap fold on the turn, but never mind. A win's a win. Check for the deuces here on the 9-7-6. Check for the deuces here on the 9-7-6-4. I mean, he could just be attacking the fact that we look really weak here, but if he is, then good to him. Good for him. Not much you're going to be able to do about that with the deuces. I'm going set mining on table 1. I hold my cursor where I expect to see the 5. I expect to see it on the first card. Which is going to be about there, is it? Christ, I was nowhere near, was there? Fuck me, I was miles out there. And the flop didn't help either. Picked up a good shot, but we're not intending to put any more money in this pot. Love to see the open limping. Love to see it. Open and straight draw on a very wet board that's going to connect with their ranges quite a lot. But I still think I'm going to bet rather than check call. I mean, we can't check fold. So I'd rather, if I know I'm going to be like check calling with this type of hand, feels better to actually lead with it. Occasionally, we might get some folds. It's awkward now. Now we improve to an actual made hand. Makes me not want to bet anymore, but I also don't want to. Just hope he doesn't bet big. Do not bet big. Boil sog. Don't do it. Thin value or check call? That is the question I'm asking myself here. I think we've come down on the side of thin value, and we get the snap fold, which is unfortunate, but never mind. 3-betting the ace queen versus the loose passive player who's open for pot. Not a board I'm going to be wanting to see bet very often, unfortunately. We do have the backdoor flush draw 2 over cards, but he's open for pot. He's called a 3-bet. If he's got any pairs, he's not going to be too inclined to fold them on this board. So we just take our free card, which appears to have done us a favour. If he bets, I don't want to see a big one. I want to see a bigger one than that though. So I was hoping he'd bet like 6 or something, then we could just call. Or he checks so we could bet. I'm going to make a raise here, and then if he calls, maybe think about checking back river. I think you just want to try and get a bit more value on this street than basically quarter pot. And he folded, which, never mind. The bet just seemed too small for me to want to just call it. But I'm fully aware that if he 3-bets, I'm probably going to have to fold, which would look kind of silly. 5, please, right there. Don't fuck me around. Nope, but we do have an open-ended straight flush draw. Not a very exciting one, but nevertheless, still an open-ended straight flush draw. I do not want to draw to it for that pot size bet, though, I don't think. Louise just seemed pretty bad aggressive. No. Didn't want to check raise there, and if we check call and we miss with bad aggressive, we're going to see an awful lot of like huge turn bets that you probably need to check fold to. This guy just decides to lead into him, so it's obviously got a 9. This guy doesn't have a 9. I will post a picture of my bare ass to my next video if this video gets 15 likes. Whew. I don't have to show my bare ass. I mean, he might not have had a 9, but we don't have the evidence, so thankfully for that. The minute I started saying that, I was thinking, what the fuck are you saying, Reggie? So I had to try and give myself a parachute quite quickly with the 15 likes. To be fair, I would hope that with that promise on the cards, nobody would hit the like button on the video, so because I don't think anyone really wants to see my bare ass, dude. It's not, you know, it's just 45-year-old overweight bloke, saggy ass. It's not anything that anyone really wants to see. Perhaps I need to think of a better dare to myself than that. Perhaps I should store some stock dares up, because yeah, I wouldn't have been happy. Wouldn't have been happy taking an ass selfie. Not opening the Jack 5 into a blue tag player, because you're going to defend way too many hands, and then these types of hands require us to bluff quite a lot post flop to make them profitable, and so we're going to be opening a weak hand that we intend to bluff with quite a lot post flop against a player that we've got tagged as blue, who just probably isn't that into folding. So all in all, that overall game plan sounds pretty shit. Open light into a player that doesn't fold, and then try and make him fold post flop a lot, because we're not going to make a hand very often. All in all, that plan seems shit. It seems like a much better plan to just have pocket kings sometimes. I'm going to squeeze it up quite a lot here. Somewhere in the upper 5s. Hope this guy doesn't 4-bet, because he is quite like the weak type, like fish type player. Oh dear. We have an aces versus kings scenario on table 1. But obviously he's going to have to go broke, but I don't like it. And then we have a pretty easy 4-bet versus the short stack dude here. Hello aces. Oh, he hasn't snap called. He doesn't have aces unless he's slow rolling. Wow, did not expect the fold to come there. I was not expecting the fold. I just presumed there's pocket aces and there's me getting felted. Do we just jam here? Try and get him off some chops with ace king, maybe. Put some pressure on his medium pocket. I don't know. I think it's just a jam, isn't it? You can't really call the turn if it checks and he just scores all in. We get it done. Then surprise there. How often does a 20/12 with only a 1% 3-bet, how often do they 4-bet fold? Feels like it should be almost never, but there you go. I had it, Mirrors. Mirrors Lav. I had it, sir. Thing is, I thought you had better. I just thought we were running headlong into a chainsaw there. Right, 2 new players at this table. David's son, who, small sample size, but seems a little bit too loose for my personal tastes. And then we've got Phoenix, who is a pretty weak, tightish looking player. Shouldn't be causing us too many problems. Yeah, it's a time where I'd normally be thinking about stopping the video, but no, just fuck it, we'll just let it run. Not many people watch videos that run for an hour and a half, 2 hours, but there'll probably be some people out there who enjoy the stuff I do, so for you guys, hopefully it's a nice bonus. And for the people that typically only watch an average of 12 minutes, well, you've already fucked off by now, so never mind there. Your boy Vibe is definitely a fish. A river runner, definitely a fish, but on the tighter side, like a tight fish. So for a Monday morning, when you wouldn't typically expect to find good games running, we're doing okay. We've got fish at every table. So yeah, let's just keep it going. Definitely going to be stopping no later than midday though, because my wife said she'd be home between 12 and 12:30, so I want to be ending the video and getting it uploading before I just told her to toot the horn outside so we can just get going, get out and get back. So I want to have everything done, and so when she toots I can just leave. So definitely not going to be playing for any more than another 64 minutes, but that'll make like a 107-minute video, which is plenty. And then we'll be back for PLO Thursday. Need to defend the ace-10 versus the wide openers range. And now we need to be check folding the ace-10. Deuces. I can go either way with deuces. Small pairs we're going to fold versus this under the gun open and that stack size. Generally, the looser the table, the better the table, the more fish throughout the table, the more likely I am to open. For example, if I was playing 25 and I'll zoom, rightly or wrongly, I wouldn't be opening deuces until the cut-off. But in games where you have lots of like loose-ish players who are mostly passive, I think deuces can then become an open because you're just going to see more flops. You're not going to get 3-bet off your hand pre-flop as often. You're going to see more flops, and then when you do flop your set, because you're playing against like weaker players, you're going to find it easy to get value for it too post-flop, whereas in tougher games on the mainstream sites, you're going to face way more 3-bets, which takes away a lot from the profitability of your open, and then it's going to be harder to win stacks post-flop when you flop a set, because better players just don't pay off as lightly. For some reason, the sound on UPoker hasn't worked the last 2 times I've plugged my headset in. I think that's to do with my computer. I don't reboot it anywhere near as often as I should, and then sometimes I think it just needs a reboot. I didn't reboot it for the start of the video. Had I known the sound wasn't going to be working, then I probably would have gone for the reboot, but never mind. I wanted to do a lot of 3-betting versus this dude, but I don't think Jack 10 offs. Well, not a lot of 3-betting, but more 3-betting than I usually do. But I don't think the Jack 10 off's the hand to do it with. When I see these like 40-20 type players, you just know they're like out of line with their opening ranges, but then you also know because they're playing 40-20, they're probably going to be pretty shit post-flop too. So those are the guys I really enjoy, like 3-betting wider depolarized ranges against. I'm looking to try and play some big pots with, but say the Jack 10 off. As much as I'm keen to employ that strategy, the Jack 10 off just doesn't fit into it. Well, I think this guy's going to be a live wire for the rest of this session. Well, for as long as he stays there anyway. Why was I thinking I had Jack 10 off when it's fucking Jack 3? What on earth am I even fucking talking about? Am I on the mushrooms? Or was that the previous hand? I don't even fucking know anymore. I don't even fucking know. Did I just see Jack 10 when it was Jack 3 the whole time? I was Jack 10 the previous hand. I'll go back and investigate in a moment because I'm worried that I'm starting to lose my fucking mind. Have we had Jack 10 recently? Doesn't fucking look like it, does it? Doesn't look like it. Fuck knows why I saw Jack. Did I have Jack 10 at another table? I haven't got a fucking clue. Literally do not know. To be fair, I am making this video on the back of about 3 hours sleep. I didn't get there. I was playing on the Poker Brothers app last night, or the Poker Bros app last night, and then watching some shit on YouTube. Ended up not getting to sleep until gone 5 AM, and I had to be up again at 8:15 because I had to give a fasting blood sample this morning at 8:45 at the doctor's. So I am operating on the back of about 3 hours sleep. So maybe I'm just fucking hallucinating. Who knows? What I do know is when I get back in from my visiting, I have a very nice, comfortable, long, uncurtailed afternoon nap planned, and I'll be sure to enjoy the fuck out of it. I think I'm in the top 1% of people who enjoy naps in the world. There won't be more than 1% of people who enjoy napping more than me. I fucking love napping. It's one of my favourite things in the entire world. Right, what we're doing here with the Ace King, we have loose passive opener under the gun. We have a semi-regular flatting the button, so he can't really have anything good. The squeeze takes it down. We're 3-betting the Ace 10 suited. We could have peeled maybe. We have 3-bet this dude a few times. He certainly seems to be playing more aggressively than his 50/10 stats would suggest. And then he's finding folds to 3-bets, so maybe he's changed his game over this sample size. Maybe he's not 50. Maybe he's 50/10 over those hands, but maybe he's maybe he's made some adjustments lately, and he's not that guy anymore. There's a Jack 10. We have the Jack and the 10 over here, so we're definitely not hallucinating this time. Excuse me. Do I defend the Jack 10 versus this dude? I mean, it's a pretty weak holding Jack 10 offsuit, but I want to get involved in pots with guys that attack blue. And now this is perhaps where things start to get tricky if lots of bets go in. Not normally an open from me, the 5-4 suited for middle position, but we're going to try and play a few more hands. I said that before, but we haven't really done it yet, but we're going to push the envelope a little bit, I think, and hope not to get too badly punished. That 3-bet is way too small, so we're going to be defending. Flop a gut shot. Interesting. Yeah, it doesn't have a large 3-bet. Don't bet too big. I'd like to see another card. A check's even nicer. Now, I was going to start bluffing, but now we've turned a pair and we're the head of Ace King, Ace Queen, etc. now. I think we're ahead. I think we have the best hand. So we're going to call, because I think we have the best hand. And I still think we have the best hand, so we're going to check call again. And we did have the best hand. That is delightful. That's a really fucking wank of a turn card. You know, wanker. The Ace of Diamonds is a wanker. Let's start by checking. I mean, Ace Jack and Ace 10 improve. We block King Queen really hard. It's small bet time. Hope to get called, isn't it, I think? Don't raise. Don't raise. Quite pleased with that 5-4 suited hand. The way it went down, I was confident the whole way through. I was confident from the turn anyway. I would definitely have folded had there ever been an ace, queen or king. So if the king came and he bluffed, he would have got the job done. But maybe if the king comes he doesn't check. Who knows? Sorry, maybe if the king comes he doesn't bet, not doesn't check. I'm playing nearly an hour. Let's see what the scores on the doors are. Up 27 chips. Up 43 chips. 45 chips, sorry. Oh, 65 chips at the moment, which is about 15 quid. Pretty pleased with that. Just going to overlimp the fives. Not going to flop a set, so fuck you fives. Man, I'm starting to feel tired. Not going to stop the video because there's no point going for a nap now. Napping's just completely pointless now because I'm just getting very annoyed having to wake up again in like 40 minutes. I'm going to put the nap off. Hopefully we'll enjoy it more when it arrives. You know when your eyes just want to fucking close and they get angry with you when you refuse to close them. That's where I'm at right now. I'm at the point where my eyes are saying, fuck you, Reggie. Let me close. And I'm just like, no. We're not doing that. We're not closing just yet. We're going to save it and we're going to enjoy it later. We're going to go for a small ISO here with the... versus this another gun strike. That's too small. I think I made a mistake there making that sizing. I just wanted to make it smaller because of his only off a 50 blind stack. It still should have been bigger than that. Should have been 240 really, but it works anyway. Jesus. Tired, Reggie. If I wasn't making a video, I absolutely would have been stopping now and just doing something to get some fucking life into my eyelids. Probably going outside, getting some fresh air. My sleep pattern's been fucking awful lately because I've been playing in a lot of games through the night, both on like the Brazilian club on this network and more recently the Poker Bros app, and yeah, I can't remember the last time I just had a good solid 8 hours sleep. It doesn't happen these days to me. Just kind of play, sleep, have to wake up for things now and again, and then get a second sleep in. I am craving a proper just good night's sleep, but I don't know when it's coming, because I'm just like, oh, I know the games are going to be good, so let's play for a bit, and then before you fucking know it, it's 3:30 a.m. and you're wired and you log out and you can't just instantly go to sleep, and then things happen to wake you up earlier than you want to. Yeah. Might treat myself to a early night tonight. It's Monday. I might just not play tonight from like 11 p.m. onwards. That's probably not going to happen though. I'm probably going to be afternoon nap and then just not be tired and decide to play. Easy 3-bet with the ace-9 suited versus the guy we want to be doing some 3-betting against. Pick up the cold call from the small blind, which can never be good in my opinion. It can never be like an indication of a good player, sorry. Check back. Call if he bets, bet if he doesn't. Bet pretty big. I got a feeling we're beat here, but we certainly can't fold for 1-bet, given we check back the flop. But I have a feeling we're beaten here by like an ace-queen type hand. If he bets big, we're just folding, I think. People just don't bluff, do they? People just don't bluff. Well, not anywhere near high enough frequencies anyway. I mean, sometimes when you check back flops, it can be easy to like, convince yourself to call down because you check back flops, etc. In the bet over here with our spade draw we picked up, I just think this is so unlikely to be a bluff. He's not doing this with like pocket kings, pocket queens, pocket jacks, pocket tens, etc. People just don't bluff. They just don't bluff, so we're just not going to pay off. Do we bluff here? I don't think this bluff's got a particularly high chance of success, but oh, we didn't. We timed out, and it might have worked too. It might have worked because we're finding people who call in ace-5 offsuit in the fucking small blind, man. What is going on? Why didn't I just get the betting in time there? Spent too much time dwelling over the relatively easy fold on table 2. Because that bet may have worked there. Maybe it wouldn't have. Who knows? Maybe if he's shit enough to call with ace-5 off out of the small blind to begin with, maybe he's shit enough not to fold it on the river. Who knows? I'm certainly going to be 3-betting the king queen off, or we were before. This like relatively tight fish, put the 3-bet in, and then we're just going to get out of the way. This dude's a fish, of course, because his gap between his VP and his PFR is huge, but as far as fish go, with a 29 VP, it's a relatively tight fish. I'm annoyed by that ace-9 suited hand in that we didn't get to showdown, but I think I made a meal of just how much of a difficult call it was on the river. It was just a pretty trivial call. I knew what I was doing. The plan was call turn, fold river, and then I took fucking ages to deliver it. Do we want to 3-bet the jacks here? We've been 3-betting this dude a lot. He's been folding, hasn't he? So we're just going to call because he's been folding, which suggests maybe him trying to employ a 4-bet for fold strategy versus 3-bets. So in that case, if he's just playing 4-bet or fold more often than 3-betting jacks becomes less good. No, I'm not in love with this here, but we need to call once. Probably going to fold the turn if he barrels. It'll be quite an easy fold. Facing a double barrel from a 50/10, even if those stats aren't truly accurate, seems good to me. Check raised here, just fold King Jack. Pretty dry board. I mean, there's some draws out there, but not many. And then he checks the turn, so it looks like he's probably spewing a little bit on the flop. Decides he wants to bomb the river. That's a strange line. Why would you check the turn? There, you mean you got your check raising with your set, and you fill up on the turn. Why would you check? Makes no sense. When someone calls a decent sized check raise, and the turn breaks, they probably, especially when they call a check raise on a board as dry as that. How often do you think they're folding the turn, Davidson? They've called a flop check raise on a dry board. How often do you think they're folding to what is essentially a brick on the turn? That's a really poor check. If you bet the turn, you'd probably just felt him on the river. Probably just has the jack or something, and you probably just felt him. And it shouldn't be David's son, it should be David Sucks. But pat myself on the back for the easy fold with the King Jack and not milking it. I think I'm going to have to jack it in, guys, because I am tired. I feel like I'm getting 3/4 asleep here, and that's with talking through the video. I was hoping to make it longer, but I'm just feeling really tired. And feels like I got mistakes in me. With my eyes. Trying not to yawn on video. Yeah. I think we're going to call it a day. Because I am cream crackered. It's a shame because this dude was going to be a lot of fun to play with, I think, but we'll just play around to our blinds on all tables and wrap it up. Still, we got an hour or so out of it, so I'm pleased with that. Jesus Christ. What am I going to do for 35 to 45 minutes to stay awake? Exit. One more hand, please. Let's have one more decent. Jesus Christ, the yards are coming thick and fast now. Yeah, let's try and get one more playable hand there. Don't know any videos on yawns, do we, on serial, on like consecutive yawnings. Come on, pocket queens, please. Or 10-6 suited. I mean, that's, you know, it's It's not queens. That's not queens either. It's a 7-4 off. They're both going in the bin. Bloody hell. Last hand, 10 deuce off. Thank you for wasting my time. And we're going to straddle over here for the last hand. Got where the button's going to be there, so bang bang, we got 2 more hands to play, one of which will include me straddling. Let's go. Ace king. Ace king. Didn't even get to get the straddle in. What a disappointing end to the video. There we go, guys. Sorry I didn't honour my promise to play till 12, but I am absolutely fucked. And I need to go and do something to keep myself awake for 40 minutes till the wife comes, and then go and do the visiting. Get back home, get in me cot. Take care, everybody. We're back Thursday, hopefully with some PLO this week. We'll see you then. Bye-bye for now.